Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
A cold blast sweeps through Southern California, bringing freezing temperatures and snow. We're in storm track.
Local civil rights leaders offer a new plan to reduce deadly conflict and tension between LAPD and the LA local community.
A wild and dangerous CHP pursuit on wet roads at ends of the 710 freeway in East LA. The suspect now behind bars. Good evening, I'm David Ono.
And I'm Colleen Sullivan. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. Bundle up. A big blast of winter is hitting Southern California with snow levels expected to drop to the 2,000-foot level. We are on storm track, and this is extremely cold system that's moving in. We have live team coverage. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell is braving the freezing conditions on the Grapevine. But we begin with meteorologist Dallas Raines, who is tracking all the rain and snow. Dallas?
That's right, Colleen, and tonight we're down at LAX. It's been raining during the course of the afternoon, and more rain is expected there this evening. However, everything seems to be going okay down at LAX as far as the aircraft taking off and landing, but it is raining across Southern California. Let's go down to our friends in the OC, where it is cloudy at this moment. Very cold temperatures expected tonight in Disneyland. As a matter of fact, my forecast is for temperatures at about 39 degrees early tomorrow morning. Now, during the course of the next 4 to 5 hours, there's a chance of showers down there. So with that in mind, let's check out the live Megadoppler 7000 HD, which is scanning Orange County at this moment. Only scattered very light showers can be seen across Orange County tonight. Most of the heavier showers are up in the extreme northern part of the OC, but that is it. Now, it is snowing tonight in the high country, and I do anticipate more snow there tonight at Big Bear Lake and even along the freeways as we head up toward Las Vegas. We'll talk about that. Give you the forecast just a minute.
Thank you, Dallas.
David,
well, this cold winter storm poses a danger for motorists heading up and down the Grapevine, especially with the threat of low visibility and icy pavement. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell is braving the freezing temperatures to bring us a look at the conditions right now. It looks really cold out there, Amy.
Yes, David, the temperatures are falling, but right now the snow is not. It has stopped for the moment, and that is certainly good news for motorists. We are overlooking the 5 freeway, and I can tell you right now the roadway looks very dry and traffic is moving freely, but officials are worried about what may happen later tonight when snow and ice could cause problems. Snow started falling late this afternoon in the Gorman area, dusting the ground with a light coat of white. Drivers heading through the Grapevine along Interstate 5 were surprised when snowflakes started pelting their windshields.
So we stopped a little bit, for the kids to enjoy the snow. And now we're going to continue all the way to Los Angeles.
Okay, but you don't mind driving in these conditions?
No, I think it's fine. It's not very slippery.
But in the mountains, road conditions quickly turn dangerous. A resident of Pine Mountain Club says police set up a roadblock in the area, forcing her and other drivers to turn around.
He said it's a sheet of ice. So until they have the snowplow and the cinders down to break up the ice, they're not letting anybody in, either in or out. So unless you have chains, you're not getting in.
The California Highway Patrol is monitoring weather conditions along the Grapevine, preparing to take action if ice makes the roadway hazardous.
In conjunction with Caltrans, the Highway Patrol will be making the decision with Caltrans whether or not they have to shut the roadway down based upon whether or not the roadway is treacherous, whether or not the weather conditions dictate so.
I'm just happy that the Grapevine is open. Last time this happened, when we were coming down here, about 4 years ago, it was closed. It took us literally 12 hours.
That, of course, is a driving nightmare that he's describing. Again, Caltrans is standing by. They have crews out here monitoring the conditions, and they're ready to start plowing, putting down sand and other materials to break up the ice if conditions worsen later on tonight. And again, they're hoping that they won't have to close down this freeway, this stretch of the freeway, but they will if conditions change drastically. Reporting live along the Grapevine, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Amy, thank you. And the near freezing temperatures are a huge concern for those who are out on the streets. That's why the LA County Public Health Department has issued a cold weather alert for several areas, including Pasadena. Tonight, the group Friends Indeed is turning the Pasadena Covenant Church into a bad weather shelter for those less fortunate. Cots and blankets are ready to go. This year, organizers say the need is as great as ever.
We used to be open for a whole season at 3 winter months. but funding has dried up so much that now we're only weather activated.
I can't explain the people that I've known that died from cold weather that that no one talks about.
Those who show up at the shelter will also receive a hot meal. The group expects to serve 100 to 140 people a night. And from the cold to the snow, you can stay on top of the weather no matter where you are. Just download the ABC7 Mega Doppler weather app. You can get weather alerts, live radar, the forecast, and much more, all for free. Download the app from the App Store or Google Play.
An earthquake rocks part of Los Angeles, rattling nerves across the area. The magnitude 3.9 quake hit just before 3:30 this afternoon. Los Angeles County Fire quickly went into earthquake mode and is checking each and every station for any damage. So far, no reports of damage or injuries.
New at 7, a former Pasadena City employee and 2 of his friends are under arrest, accused of embezzling nearly $6.5 million from the city. City leaders say 51-year-old Danny Wooten worked in the Department of Public Works until July when he was fired in an unrelated matter. He's accused of creating false invoices for the city's underground utility program. City officials say the misappropriation of public funds appears to go back 11 years.
The audit actually did reveal a number of questionable payments, about as many as 296 invoices that were presented to the city for payment, totaling as much as $6.4 million.
Wooten is being held in lieu of nearly $2 million bail. The owner of Collins Electric, Tyrone Collins, and a former temporary city employee, Melody Jenkins, were also arrested.
The 710 freeway is reopened in both directions tonight following a CHP pursuit that shut it down in East LA. Here's the very end of that chase. Air 7 was over the scene as a suspect was taken into custody. This happened live in 4 o'clock. It all began just before 4 in Pico Rivera when officers tried to stop a suspected stolen vehicle. That suspect took off. At times, the vehicle was smoking as he zoomed down the slippery freeway.
The suspect got out of his vehicle and ran away from the officers, jumped over the center divider wall, and the officers apprehended him after a short foot pursuit.
No shots were fired, but officers say a taser was deployed to detain the man. At the very least, the suspect faces charges of evading police and possession of a stolen vehicle.
In the wake of the Ezell Ford autopsy report, local civil rights leaders are offering new plan to reduce deadly conflict between police and the community. Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin gives us a look at some of their ideas.
On the corner of 65th and Broadway in South Los Angeles, candles flicker under a mural of Ezell Ford, a 25-year-old black man who was shot and killed by the LAPD.
We're going to come together and work together collectively.
12 blocks away, a call for unity in front of the LAPD's 77th Street station, as several community activists join hands with a police captain.
Nobody wants to see anyone in this community shot down. No one wants on either side.
Earl Ofari Hutchison is the president of the Los Angeles Urban Roundtable. Today he unveiled what he calls the Ezell Ford Police Conflict Reduction Plan.
We do not have to continually stand here and stand on street corners, in front of police stations, marching, demonstrations, because we've had yet another Ezell Ford.
The plan calls for the mandatory use of body cameras, for a review of deadly force policies, for retraining officers on mental health issues, for the establishment of a conflict mediation task force, and for a mandate referring all officer-involved shootings to criminal prosecutors.
We think these are doable and practical proposals.
LAPD Captain Corey Palka says he will forward the plan to Chief Charlie Beck.
We're partners here in this community, and we'll sit down with the chief and the chief's office, and we'll go through every item in the plan and do a collaborative process. We'll see what we can work toward achieving.
The plan comes one day after the coroner released Ezell Ford's autopsy report, which showed he was shot 3 times, including once in the back at close range. Police say Ford was fighting with an officer, reaching for the officer's gun when they opened fire back on August 11th. Ford's family disputes that account. Chief Beck said Monday that the truth will come out.
We have a very sophisticated, thorough process for investigating officer-involved shootings.
The Ezell Ford shooting remains under investigation. The Ezell Ford 5-point plan was also sent to Mayor Eric Garcetti's office. No word yet on when or if any of those recommendations will actually be implemented. Reporting from downtown LA, Robert Olguin, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Search crews retrieved several bodies and wreckage from the AirAsia flight that went down in the Java Sea. Crews are bringing the debris to land. As many as 7 bodies were brought aboard a Navy ship today. 162 people were on board the plane when it went down on its way to Singapore. There is no sign of any survivors. Searchers have not yet found the flight data recorders. They found debris about 6 miles from the plane's last point of radar contact off the coast of the island of Borneo. Family members cried and some even fainted when they learned of the discovery.
And investigators say there could be more victims in that tragic fire on a Greek ferry boat off the coast of Italy. These are some of the survivors arriving at a rescue center in Athens. There were more than 400 passengers on board the vessel. Early reports say 10 people were killed. However, investigators say there are large discrepancies in the names on the manifest. They believe there were a large number of stowaways on board. Up to 40 people are believed missing. Italy has begun a criminal investigation to find out what caused this fire.
Still ahead, the fight over bunny sculptures in Newport Beach.
And surviving an avalanche, the moment a couple's nature walk turned into a sprint for survival.
Plus, it's a New Year tradition for many families. We have some advice for those of you heading out to this year's Rose Parade.
And the Rose Parade gets a television twist. I'm George Pinocchio, and tonight's Hollywood Wrap. The parade welcomes 2 television shows, one current, one classic. Will it be the best Rose Parade ever? That's next.
If you plan to attend Thursday's Rose Parade, you better bundle up. Could be pretty cold out there, especially overnight.
Eyewitness News reporter Mark Cota-Robles talked to some parade fans who wouldn't miss it for anything.
Grandstands now line Pasadena's Colorado Boulevard in preparation for the 2015 Rose Parade. Kent and Audrey Danforth came all the way from Texas.
Parades are a big deal for me. So coming to this is like a bucket list. I probably bawl my eyes out the whole time.
But with the parade less than 48 hours away, Pasadena Police and Fire are warning overnight campers and those early morning parade goers about the forecast.
Be ready and know that it's going to be very cold here.
Fire Chief Bertrand Washington is advising people to wear extra layers along with hats and gloves as the overnight temperatures into Thursday morning will dip into the 30s. He says hypothermia is a real concern.
We just want them to be prepared, and we want to make sure that they're going to be safe and warm when they do camp out.
Allegedly, this is record-breaking cold. Bring plenty of patience.
A reminder that bonfires are not allowed. Barbecues are if they're small, 1 foot off the ground, and you have a fire extinguisher. My last recommendation, stake your location near one of these patio heaters.
We have seen the forecast, but it doesn't scare us very much.
Sure, they brought their jackets, but safe to say Kent and Audrey are not overly concerned.
I would suspect if you live here, it might be cold for you, so be prepared, but this is beautiful weather. This is it for me. I don't need anything else.
If there was a poster child for delivering the fire chief's message, it would be me with, yes, the long johns, you need the gloves, and with temperatures in the 30s, you can't forget the hat. No shame here. Again, camping out starts tomorrow at noon. Enjoy the parade. Reporting from Pasadena, I'm Mark Cotto-Robles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And Dallas, we were talking about it earlier, but you had said it's going to be really, really cold on the roads on Thursday morning.
That's right. We haven't seen temperatures this cold early in the morning, just about sunrise in Pasadena on Thursday at about 32 to 34 degrees. And then it'll start warming up, but it's not going to be warm at all for the whole day. But the sun will be shining tonight. We have cloudy skies, still raining out at LAX this evening. And when we look at the live Meganopolis 7000 HD in just a minute, we'll notice there's still rain around Southern California tonight. Down in the OC, good evening to all of our friends and viewers down there. Beautiful night going on down at Disneyland. However, it is quite cold. Temperature 39 early in the morning, so temperatures will be in the 40s tonight down at Disneyland. And there's a slight chance of some light rain showers at times. And we look at the live Meganopolis 7000 HD at this moment. You can see this is Santa Ana. This is our radar that covers just you down in the OC. Some light showers along the 91. Again, not much going on right around Disneyland, just a light shower or two. Nothing heavy. Costa Mesa and down at Laguna Beach. When we move northbound, that is where the snow is. Up at Big Bear Lake, we've had light snow today. Still going on there. If you plan to go up to Big Bear and do skiing or snowboarding, remember, carry the chains. And if you want to go up to Las Vegas, as you go up through the Cajon Pass, there will be some snow tonight and even snow showers all the way into Las Vegas early tomorrow morning. Now, not a lot of snow, but probably about a half an inch, just a dusting up at Vegas for tomorrow. When you look at Frazier Park tonight, most of that light snow has dissipated. However, the drier air will start coming in out of the northeast tonight, and so I think we're in pretty good shape up along the Grapevine tonight. But always remember, check with the CHP, and of course they'll be up there with you, taking you across the Grapevine if necessary tonight, as temperatures will be falling. Right now, Palmdale is 39. Really strong northeast winds will blow through Santa Clarita early tomorrow morning. And when I'm talking about strong winds, up to 50 or 60 mile per hour gusts. Right now it's 46 there, 34 at Frazier Park. Down in Orange County, Fullerton, you're at 51. It's 52 down at Santa Ana. So for tonight, the main concerns are the 14, the Grapevine, and the I-15. Again, not very much snow, but certainly a dusting and hazardous driving conditions are expected through early tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock. Look how cold this air is. It's minus 10 right now in Denver, 14 in Salt Lake City. The low pressure is moving eastbound tonight and will eventually make its way out of Southern California. Out of time tonight, so let's go ahead and look at the 7-day forecast, and here it is. Breezy and cold, high of 58. A freezing condition for the first day of 2015, but look at the weekend. We're warming into the 60s and 72 by Sunday. There's that overnight low down in Pasadena early Thursday morning. Sunshine, high of 59, reaching 72 by Sunday. At the beaches, it's cold and warming up toward the weekend, but certainly the next 2 days at the coastline will be clear and beautiful. Snow in the mountain areas, 2 to 4 inches through early tomorrow morning. Down to 5 degrees on New Year's Day, high of only 27. Light snow in the high desert early in the morning, and then clearing skies, and we could hit 60 by Sunday. That is it from the Weather Center. It's a cold night, so try to bundle up.
All right, Dallas,
Okay.
thank you.
Right.
In tonight's Hollywood Wrap, a TV reality show gets a float in the Rose Parade.
And so does a classic TV series. And here's George Pinocchio to explain.
These might be a couple of floats to look out for. On New Year's Day, along with all the marching bands and all the horses, there will be some extra red roses on one parade float. And on another, the cast of a TV series that ran for 250 episodes.
Welcome aboard the Love Boat.
In this time-lapse video provided by Princess Cruises, we get to see the boat float coming to life in front of our eyes. Princess Cruises is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and the entire cast will be on the float to celebrate.
And look at how beautiful it is. It's 60 feet long, 25,000 flowers. We are so thrilled and so honored to be a part of this.
I think it is a wonderful thing that I get to cross off of my bucket list. Being in the Rose Parade, it's wonderful, and we get a chance to connect with the float, our careers, our past careers, and to reminisce.
One of today's current ABC shows, The Bachelor, is getting its first float in the big parade. The new Bachelor, Chris Sewell, says never in his wildest dreams did he think this would be a part of his life.
I'm excited to be in the parade and see all the Bachelor fans, and I'm not sure really what to expect. I've never been to the parade, but I've been told that there's millions of people that watch this, and it's going to be fun to see them, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Chris is also excited about the upcoming season.
There's some really great girls and some pretty interesting moments that I'm looking forward to watching myself.
He tells us he is in love, but that's all he's saying. Right now, when Chris says, "Will you accept this rose?" he's only making that offer to the Bachelor float. And we've got your complete guide to parade viewing. It's all on our website, ABC7.com. You'll find information on the Rose Parade hotline, all the details on the floats, as well as where you can see them up close and in person right after the parade. David, Colleen?
All right, George, thank you. Still ahead, the flu now officially an epidemic in the U.S.
Plus 4 hikers plucked to safety after a cold night in the mountains, and we'll show you the rescue and have a reaction.
And it's being called Bunnyhenge, a circle of giant rabbit sculptures in Newport Beach. Kids seem to enjoy it, but is this a case of wasted taxpayer money? An exhibit at the Newport Beach Civic Center is art, according to some people, but it has one politician hopping mad. He thinks the city wasted too much money on bunny statues some have dubbed Bunnyhenge. Eyewitness News Orange County reporter Greg Lee checks out the bunny exhibit. See what you think.
You can find a lot of different kinds of art at the Newport Beach Civic Center, but there's one exhibit that's getting a lot of attention. 14 concrete rabbit statues sit in a tight circle. Children run around and climb on them. Adults wonder where they came from and give the collection names like Bunnyhenge.
It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. So it's like a cool kind of crazy place. And all the art sculptures are different. Nothing is the same.
But not everyone's so fond of them.
We need to blow up the bunnies.
Newly elected council member Scott Piotr didn't actually blow up a bunny, and he admits he was just poking fun. But he's serious about the message behind his campaign commercial.
But what we're really doing is trying to blow up the establishment and show how we're going to come in and bring new thoughts.
Piotr says the last council made a poor decision to spend $221,000 of the city's money on the bunnies. Former mayor and current councilman Keith Curry told me by phone he supports keeping them because they were put there by the Civic Center's architect.
It's not just the circle of 14 bunnies that's under scrutiny. There are also 2 8-foot statues that are in other parts of the park.
Let's replace it with, playground equipment the kids can actually use, because a lot of people sit there and say, oh, my kids just want to come to Bunny Park and play in the bunnies. Well, we'll give them a better park.
Piotr wants to put the bunnies up for sale so the city can get its money back. The council will decide when it's back in session next month. Reporting in Newport Beach, Greg Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
We are updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30.
Snow falling in the Cajon Pass. I'm Leticia Waters. Coming up, we'll tell you what it means for your commute if you're headed to Las Vegas.
Plus, a scary scene mid-flight as passengers wait for this jet to make an emergency landing.
live from ABC7. This is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 7:30, a recovery effort underway in the Java Sea where an AirAsia jetliner crashed in stormy weather on Sunday. I'm Colleen Sullivan.
Good night, David Ona. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. And so far, at least 6 bodies have been pulled from the rough water where crash debris has also been spotted. The plane was carrying 162 people on a flight from Indonesia to Singapore. At least one family member collapsed as images of the debris field flashed on TV. The USS Samson is at the search site with a second American ship en route to help. The plane's black boxes have not yet been recovered.
Just one day after the autopsy report is released in the deadly police shooting of Ezell Ford, community activists present a plan to the LAPD to reduce conflict between officers and the public. Their recommendations include the mandatory use of body cameras, a review of deadly force policies, and retraining of officers on mental health issues.
The big story of the night, the cold, wintry blast hitting Southern California. Meteorologist Dallas Raines, he's tracking the storm. Dallas?
That's right, David. We've been tracking it all day. It's raining down in Orange County at this hour. Nothing heavy, but some light rain. Drive carefully if you're headed out through Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Norwalk. When you see the green on the scope, that's very, very light precipitation coming down. And when you see white, that is snow. It's been snowing off and on today up at Big Bear Lake. Still snowing up there tonight, anywhere between 2, 4, maybe 5 inches of snow at certain locations in the Big Bear Lake area. Now, if you're traveling and you are headed over toward Las Vegas, good for you. Have a great time. But remember, as you head up the pass there, Cajon Pass, you get around 4,000 feet. It is snowing at this moment. And as temperatures fall tonight, even more snow is expected. Not a great deal, but there will be really slow traveling, hazardous traveling on the 15 all the way over toward Las Vegas. Snow showers have diminished up along the I-5 tonight. You can see that very light showing up. And then let's head on down into the Thousand Oaks area where it is cold. It's going to be windy tonight in that area. However, it looks like most of that precipitation has moved eastbound into the Van Nuys area. Another forecast in a few minutes. It's cold outside. David and Colleen, try to stay warm if you can.
We will, Dallas.
Thank you.
Thanks
so much.
And Dallas mentioned the Cajon Pass. Let's take you there. The main route to Las Vegas, which will be heavily traveled for New Year's, has already seen some snowfall tonight. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Juarez has the latest from the Cajon Pass.
The light snow started late this afternoon. While it isn't really sticking right now, the snow could stick around as the night wears on.
As soon as we see white stick to the ground, our plows go out. We do everything we possibly can to keep the I-15 open.
Caltrans is concerned about the snow and icy conditions along Interstate 15 tonight. The transportation agency activated its communications center late this afternoon to stay ahead of any problems. The freeway especially busy today, with people either returning home or heading out for the holiday.
It's busy on the freeway, really busy. Yeah, like bumper to bumper.
But today I'm coming from Los Angeles and I'm started at 11 o'clock this morning. But still there's a lot of traffic.
Many of these folks planning on being in Las Vegas to ring in the new year.
We have relatives from Costa Rica and they want to see Vegas New Year's Eve.
While the snow is a concern tonight, in the past, the rain has already made its presence known. In Riverside, folks had to deal with a wet commute. But the snow and rain isn't a problem for many. The winter is a welcome change.
I'd rather have the snow with it, not just the cold air.
You know, they say the snow is going to drop down to about the 2,000-foot level. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I am.
Finally, we have a winter. It's been all summer last year.
Caltrans tells us that they will be working in conjunction with the CHP to keep Interstate 15 open. They are also advising anyone that has plans to travel into the mountains to carry chains. Reporting in the Cajon Pass, Leticia Juarez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The bitter winter cold has many of us cranking up our home heaters and appliances and fireplaces, but sometimes there are risks. Firefighters say to avoid a tragedy, it is important to make sure your appliances, fireplaces are in good working order. You will want to check that your chimney is clean and that your furnace is well maintained.
We want to make sure there's no breaches in the system, and because you don't want to have any carbon monoxide of any sort going in the house. So that's the main safety concern.
Firefighters say never turn on any heating source and leave the house, nor should you use your stove or oven to generate heat. They say be especially careful with space heaters by keeping them away from curtains or other flammable material.
And the flu season is at epidemic proportions in this country. The CDC made the official declaration today. 15 children have died from flu complications so far this season. 22 states are reporting a high number of flu-like illnesses. The number of people hospitalized is climbing. Most of the affected are children under 4 and senior citizens. Experts say it's still important to get a flu shot, even if it may not be a good match for this year's strain.
Falling gas prices have been a joy to drivers this holiday season, but beginning Thursday, you can expect a spike in the price at the pump. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez shows us what's fueling the gas hike in 2015.
A hike in gas prices. Yes, it's coming, hitting you at the pump and raising the cost of groceries, too.
Every vendor, every truck that delivers, every item that we receive will have an increase because of that gas tax.
Officially, it's not a tax, but it will feel like one. It springs from a voter-approved measure to clean up the air in California. Starting January 1st, gasoline and diesel will be subject to the state's cap-and-trade program. It means that gas and diesel industries will have to pay fees according to how much carbon pollution their products pump into the air. Those fees, they'll be passed to you. How much is a question. Even the Air Resources Board, which regulates pollution, says it's a guess.
It's likely to translate to no more than 10 cents a gallon.
Critics, though, fear a backlash from the oil industries. That fuel producers who tried to halt the measure may now try to stir a consumer revolt by slowing fuel production, inflating the price you pay at the pump.
It can go anywhere from 30 cents a gallon up to 80 cents a gallon tax.
Yet advocates say there is an upside to this new program. The new fees will go to communities hardest hit by polluting industries for things like
low-income housing that's fuel efficient, energy efficient for these folks, mass transit in places where it doesn't now exist.
As for the petroleum industries, they're issuing a warning that coming January 1st, the fuel market will enter uncharted territory. Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The woman wounded in an officer-involved shooting in the Hollywood and Highland parking structure now faces felony charges. The day after Christmas, an officer shot 47-year-old Diamond Vargas in the leg. Police say she was fighting with another woman, then pointed a gun at an officer. Vargas is charged with a half-dozen counts of assault with a firearm. If convicted, she faces more than 30 years in prison. She has a 1991 conviction in Orange County for assault and robbery. 4 missing hikers who survived frigid temps overnight in the Angeles National Forest have been rescued, one of them suffering from the effects of the cold weather. 3 of the hikers were airlifted. The most experienced, a man in his 60s, walked out this morning with rescuers. The group included the man, his 18-year-old son, and 2 friends, 18 and 20-year-olds. They were on a day hike yesterday and decided to stay overnight when it got dark.
We weren't expecting to be out overnight, but the safest thing to do was to stop and make a fire and stay through the night instead of stumbling around in the dark.
The girl that was there, she was missing a shoe. One of the guys in the group was hypothermic, so they absolutely needed rescue. It was pretty close to being a critical situation.
Searchers wanted to find the group as soon as possible because of the bad weather expected in the region.
Passengers on board an East Coast flight that made an emergency landing due to engine problems are speaking out today. One of them recorded this video of fire spewing from one of the engines. The Republic Airlines flight was headed to Manchester, New Hampshire from Philadelphia yesterday when passengers say there was a loud noise and it started shaking. That's when the pilot turned back around.
It was like a loud noise and it was really like shaking, and they kept trying to turn it on and it was just like failing repeatedly.
All of a sudden, I started seeing the flames come out.
It kept doing the same thing over again, the plane kept shaking, and that was the worst part because no one knew what was going on at that point.
I was terrified. I mean, it's not normal and it seemed like it should be happening.
The plane landed safely in Philadelphia. No one was hurt and passengers were transferred to another flight.
35 people died in avalanches last winter. Still ahead, the life-saving advice that could help you survive one.
Plus, some experts believe North Korea may not have been behind that hack attack on Sony Pictures. What federal investigators are saying.
And former President George H.W. Bush is out of the hospital and back home resting. One of the world's most wanted terrorists has been killed in a U.S. airstrike. The Pentagon is not releasing specifics, but according to Somalia's intelligence service, the U.S. has killed the intelligence chief of the terror group Al-Shabaab. The Pentagon is only saying that no civilians were killed in the strike yesterday. Al-Shabaab is an ultra-conservative Islamic militant group linked to Al-Qaeda.
Some cybersecurity experts are not so sure that North Korea really was behind this massive Sony cyber attack. In fact, one leading U.S. firm, Norse Corp, thinks it may have been closer to an inside job. It says it has information pointing to 6 suspects, including a former employee who worked for Sony for a decade but was laid off in May. The U.S. Justice Department maintains North Korea was responsible.
Former President George H.W. Bush has been released from a Houston hospital. He was rushed by ambulance there last week after suffering shortness of breath. A spokesman says the 90-year-old is now resting at home. We're told Mr. Bush wanted to express his gratitude to his doctors and nurses for what he calls their superb care. The elder Bush is our nation's oldest living president, a few months older than former President Jimmy Carter.
So how long will these chilly temperatures stick around? We're going to check in with Dallas Raines next.
Plus, a couple caught in the path of an avalanche. The hectic scene caught on camera, and the couple survived to tell their story.
And in sports, the UCLA Bruins are gearing up for the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. We will hear from quarterback Brett Hundley next. A nature walk turns into a fight for survival, and it was all caught on camera.
ABC's Clayton Sandell shows us the incredible video captured as a couple suddenly found themselves in the path of an avalanche.
That sound you hear is an avalanche.
I thought I was in serious trouble. Right when I heard the sounds.
Colby Dotson and his girlfriend, Ashley Bouchard, were on a weekend hike to these ice caves 2 hours from Tacoma, Washington, when the mountainside suddenly comes roaring toward them.
It was closer and closer and closer, and then all I did was just looked the opposite direction and started to run.
They make it to safety, but turn just in time to see people inside that cave right below all that snow.
We were scared that those people were either hurt or going to be hurt.
Everybody made it out okay, but they are incredibly lucky. In the U.S. last winter, 35 people died in avalanches. A slide can carry thick layers of heavy snow, even rocks and trees, up to 80 miles per hour. At the Copper Mountain Ski Resort in Colorado, we simulated what it's like to be trapped. You think of snow as being fluffy and white and soft, but really, in an avalanche, it isn't. It becomes very hard, very tough to dig yourself out, and very difficult to breathe.
Looks like Echo's got something.
I was lucky to be rescued by Ski Patrol. My hero! My hero! Hello! Dotson says he's lucky he didn't need a rescue this time.
It was definitely an experience that dropped your jaw.
Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Denver.
And we are dealing with some snow and some cold weather here of our own. Let's check in with Dallas Rains in for Jonathan Novak. Hi, Dallas.
That's right, Colleen. Hopefully not that much snow.
No.
And tonight, the live Meganopolis 7000 HD does indicate some light rain over the OC. Tonight, you'll have kind of a cloudy, cold night. Try to bundle up, stay warm if you can, as this weather system makes its way across Southern California. Now, once we move a little bit further to the north, you can see it has been snowing in the Big Bear Lake area. And also notice over the last couple of frames on the live Meganopolis 7000 HD, the snow level starting to drop a little bit, getting very, very close now to the Yucaipa area. They're probably already getting some snow flurries there. And so, not out of the question, you can see a light dusting of snow from Yucaipa down to Cherry Valley. That's how cold the temperatures will drop tonight across Southern California. Now, if you're headed up toward Las Vegas, you're going to encounter some very cold weather along the 15. There is already snow falling at this moment. And then even out on the 15 headed toward Victorville. Light snow is expected tonight into Las Vegas, where Las Vegas is forecasting, their weather service office forecasting about a half an inch of snow, so a dusting of snow even in Las Vegas starting early tomorrow morning. Also now along the San Gabriel area, this is Altadena. We are picking up some light snow flurries all the way down to La Crescenta, around 3,000 feet area. So again, just a light dusting of snow up there. Conditions have improved around Fraser Park. We had snow earlier today, but as you can see now, it's just some scattered flurries here and there. 3 degrees tonight in Big Bear Lake, 35 in Lake Elsinore, 39 down in Mission Viejo. So a cold night tonight, but really the cold air will come in behind the storm tomorrow night. So when we look at the highs for tomorrow, it's going to be another cool day with 56 at Northridge, 50 at Santa Clarita. Also, for friends in that area, I am forecasting some really strong gusty winds through there. Maybe gusts as high as 50 or 60 miles per hour at times. That would occur between 3 a.m. and about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Big Bear Lake, your high is 19. Let's roll the 7-day forecast. Check it out. When will it ever warm up in SoCal? Well, it looks like the weekend's going to be beautiful. It'll hit 66 down in Anaheim on Saturday, and then 71 on Sunday. But for tomorrow, 58, cool and breezy, some clouds around in the morning, then the sunshine breaking through. And other than a cold night, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, it looks like New Year's Day should be quite pleasant, near 60 degrees. That's cool. 59 in the valleys, 32 out at Pasadena early Thursday morning. And so very cold along the parade route on Thursday, but the sun will be shining. 66 on Saturday, 72 on Sunday. Let's go to the beaches. I have some cold weather for you at the coastline. No doubt 57, 59, 61. Can we get up to 67 on Sunday? Yes, that's the forecast high at the coastline on Sunday. In the mountain areas, snow showers will continue in the mountain areas through tomorrow morning. And then it'll start breaking up a little bit. And then sunshine on Thursday. But look at this Arctic air. 27 for a high and 5 for an overnight low. Thursday night into Friday, we'll finally see 50 degrees on Sunday. As far as the high desert goes, drive carefully along the 14 because you will have some light snow flurries tonight and tomorrow morning. Then the skies will clear. A cold day tomorrow at 41, 45. And then by Sunday, I like 60 degrees for our friends in the Antelope Valley. It's a cold storm tonight, and just drive carefully if you're going to be up on any of those freeways headed up toward the high desert.
Good advice, Dallas.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.
All right.
The UCLA football team is just 2 days away from their showdown with the Kansas State Wildcats at the Alamo Bowl on January 2nd, which will be the last game for some Bruin players and most likely quarterback Brett Hundley. Going into the season, the Bruins had hoped their visit to Texas would be for the national title game in Arlington and not the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. The team fell short of its title hopes, ending the season with a disappointing home loss to Stanford. But quarterback Brett Hundley is satisfied with what he has done to help raise the level of football at UCLA.
I think the biggest thing probably is just an attitude and discipline. I think, that'll get you a far way in football. And, just making sure that, as you grow from where we were to where we are now, it's a steady, progression of building. And you just got to keep building those blocks in the foundation. And, we are where we are right now. And, we've made some pretty big strides over these past 3 years.
Just 2 days after getting soaked in Gatorade and mutually parting ways with the Niners, Jim Harbaugh officially returned to his alma mater today. His homecoming gift includes a 7-year, $40 million deal loaded with performance bonuses. Harbaugh was introduced at a press conference in Ann Arbor today. His voice nearly gone thanks to that celebratory Gatorade dump on Sunday. Then later on, like royalty, Harbaugh stopped by Michigan's basketball game with Illinois. The Wolverine fans are obviously jazzed the former quarterback is back. Meantime, bowl season is far from over. Here is your New Year's Day football guide. First on the schedule is the Citrus Bowl right here on ABC7 and the Watch ABC app. And then don't forget, you can catch both semifinal games in the first ever college football playoff on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app on New Year's Day. Oregon versus Florida State in the Rose Bowl at 2 p.m. That's the one I want to check out. Dallas Reigns' alma mater, Florida State. And Alabama, Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl at 5:30. 2 great games. Yeah. Then on January 12th, the winners of those 2 semifinal games will square off in the national title game in Arlington, Texas. That game will also be on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Some great college football coming our way.
Lots of good college football. More news straight ahead here at 7:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. Much more in our wintry blast. We are live in Big Bear where skiers and snowboarders are hoping for lots and lots of snow. Plus, call it a Play-Doh no-no, why some parents are outraged over what they consider an X-rated Play-Doh accessory. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
covering North Hollywood, Santa Ana, San Bernardino, and all of Southern California. This is Eyewitness News.
It may be winter, but there's plenty of activity at Angel Stadium. The field is being transformed from a baseball diamond into a supercross track. 1.5 million pounds of dirt is being scattered at Angel Stadium in preparation for the Monster Energy Supercross season opener. That's 500 truckloads of dirt. Crews will have a few more days to get the course just right. The Supercross race is Saturday.
The most popular word of 2014 isn't a word at all. The Global Language Monitor says it's an emoji, more specifically the heart emoji. Also making the list of the top words of 2014 is hashtag vape, which is the act of smoking an e-cigarette, blood moon, and nano, as in nanotechnology, also made the list. The Global Language Monitor tracks English word usage in all 5 continents and found in various forms of media, including social media sites.
And if you can't resist the urge to snap a selfie now and then, you're not alone. In fact, you're in good company.
Twitter has declared 2014 the year of the selfie. ABC's David Wright takes a look back at some of the year's most memorable shots.
Selfies were already a thing by the time Ellen set out to break the internet. But this star-studded image from Oscar night 2014 set a new standard. Popes and presidents, a Beatle and a billionaire, the Queen herself, even some award-winning news anchors got in on the fun. On Twitter this year, the word selfie mentioned 92 million times.
The Oxford English Dictionary defines selfie as a photo one has taken of oneself, typically with a smartphone. Any background will do.
Move over, Bradley. Fun fact, the first selfie from 1839. A guy named Robert Cornelius sat still for a full minute to take this. And there's this, Throwback Thursday from 60 years ago, posted this year by Colin Powell. This year's selfie technology improved dramatically. We had selfies from space, selfies from other species, say cheese, and selfies that must have seemed like a good idea at the time. Selfies are not worth risking your life for, folks. At its best, the selfie is not just an act of narcissism. It's who we are, where we are, and who we're with. A moment in time you just can't wait to share. David Wright, ABC News, New York.
Those are great pictures.
Do you think the selfie's going to go away, though?
I doubt it.
What are people going to do next year if this is the year of the selfie?
I don't know. My 3-year-old seems, or he's now 4, he knows how to do the selfie, so.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 in LA56. Law & Order SVU is next here on LA56.
And Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com. Have a great night.
Good night.